Hello again. This is my first Chiefs Uncut in a while. So over the past few months, there's been a lot of progress with the multipurpose building. We've recently signed a contract with our architect, so that's very exciting news, meaning that we are definitely going to be building this beautiful, extremely useful and extremely beneficial building for our community. For the capital campaign that is raising monies towards the building, we've received an exponential amount of funds. Notably, from our community, we've received $1 million from Playground Poker and $1 million from Magic Palace. So that's really exciting news for us. I know that you may have heard about it on Facebook or whichever outlets that you use. However, I think it means a lot to our community that our community-based organizations or businesses have supported such an important project. On that note, we've been meeting with the architect to try and finalize some of the plans and finalize some of the rooms that are inside the building, what the building will look like, and hopefully we'll be able to communicate that to the community soon in the coming months. Let's hope that everything is finalized soon. Of course, projects takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of work and a lot of meetings. On another note, for the heritage portfolio, we are working on the language law. So the last time I believe I spoke about this during Chiefs Uncut was that we were looking at how can we address the language law, revitalize that law within our community, and help support community members and organizations to try and implement that law within their systems and how they work in day-to-day lives. However, we realized after a couple of meetings that this was going to take a lot more work than expected. So the approach that we're taking is in baby steps. So we have an excellent team. We have excellent employees working at Client-Based Services, which is where the law is housed under, so to speak. They have developed a plan where we are trying to build capacity within the community to have more advanced language speakers. So we're working with the Ganikahaga Ungwawanaraldi Drukwa Cultural Center to try and have a third year perhaps to advance the language speakers within the Ready One in Near-Dots program, and then we're going to look at all different aspects on how we can advance language speakers that have already graduated from the program. And like I said, it's in a lot of baby steps and a lot of different pieces that we have to put together in order to revitalize that law. So what we're doing is just basically trying to build the capacity of language in the community. Another note for heritage, the historical sites. So as we know, I believe it was this past summer, that a portion of the wall had caved in. So that raised a lot of alarms for the surrounding buildings, including the youth center, including Cattery, including the parking lot, of course, those who use the parking lot in front of Cattery. So we realized that there was definitely a need to try and either stabilize it, to try and rebuild it, to restructure it. We're not sure exactly what that's going to look like, but we do have a team working on it to get some estimates on different, approaches on trying to preserve that. And that's so far our approach to a lot of the other historical sites, is trying to see how much work needs to be done for all the different buildings that are in the community. There's a few sites that need to either be rehabilitated or restructured or strengthened. For the governance project, I recently went to Aguasasne with Gerald Tagayage Alfred to meet with some representatives over there, and we discussed the governance project and what the work has been so far. So we started out from, the point when I was working on the governance project back in 2019, and to the point where it is now and the evolution. So we talked about how the work that Gerald and I did, me as the assistant, to strengthen MCK and the governance structures, and trying to, make more accountability, more transparency for the council table, and then how that conversation during that time evolved into what does governance look like in the community. And so the discussion went from that to how do we strengthen our communities in order to function better, in order to, work better towards like community development, social development, and how we can strengthen our people, community-based, and then talking about somewhat of a nations-based or community-to-community base and how we can strengthen our people. For the Indigenous rights and research, a lot of that work, as I've mentioned before, has to do with consultation files that I've been a part of. A lot of the times it has to do with ecological, perspectives and how different projects can impact our community, can impact the environment, cumulative impacts, which means that sometimes when a project is initiated, they don't realize that further down the road or further down the river that there's going to be another impact, or 10 to 15 years later there's going to be a cumulative impact that'll grow and grow and grow, and it will be detrimental to the environment or to our people. And also working on the justice and legislation portfolios. A lot of that work is weekly meetings, sometimes 3 to 6 hours, looking over documents, looking over regulations, looking over the community decision-making process to make it more adaptable and more approachable for community members to be able to utilize, for community members to be able to be a part of the process. So there's a lot of work going into reviewing a lot of those different things in order to be more accessible to the community. So that's all for now. Meow for listening.